Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're on Instagram, welcome to Instagram as well as YouTube. My name is Charlotte. I own a plant store called Charlotte's Foliage, and today we're not selling anything, we're just giving free information because I get a lot of relatives and friends to contact me on social media, and they show me a picture of their plant and they tell me that the plant is suffering, but they don't know what's wrong with it. So I ask them a series of questions until we're able to get to the bottom of what the problem is with the plant. Oftentimes I don't hear back from them, so I just assume that their plants are doing fine, but I do want to hear back from them. So today what I'm going to do is show you, if you're interested in really having a plant, but you have had so many plant fails and you don't want to spend the money to waste on a plant that you're going to kill, I'm going to show you a way that's guaranteed to not kill that plant. And if you're a person that's on the go, you really are going to love this. So when you get back from work, whether you travel for work or whether you just work long hours and there's no one there to take care of your plants, I can show you a way where you can have beautiful plants and still continue on doing your regular routine. So let's just get into it, you guys. So I'm going to use my niece as an example. She recently contacted me regarding a plant that she received from a loved one's funeral services. And of course that plant has sentimental value to her, and she was struggling with this plant. So I asked her a series of questions, and because I know her and I know that she's a busy young lady, I decided to send her some of my signature soil so that she could change the substrate, the what the plant is in, whether it be soil or whatever it is, because she's on the go a lot and her child plays sports, so she's busy. She doesn't have time to babysit with a plant when she has a busy career and her daughter has a busy career too. So I told her about what we call semi-hydroponics, and basically what it is these clay balls that you can purchase at YouTube. Excuse me, Amazon. YouTube must be talking about me. So anyway, you can purchase these leca balls, and I'll show them to you. Here they are. They're clay balls, and you can take those clay balls, and I'm going to demonstrate this on camera so you'll know what I'm talking about. You can get you a beautiful vase, or you can get you a vase from the thrift store. That's where I get all mine from. Or just a mason jar if your plant is small enough. If it's bigger, naturally you're going to need a bigger vase. So see this jar, and then I'll show you an example of the bigger vase. This is the larger vase that I got from the thrift store. And so I like to plant my plants that grow, you know, they're climbers or crawlers. So I like to give them this type of planter. So what you do is you get your glass vase or container, and you take your leca balls, just like this, and you put them in the jar. I'm going to show you. And what you want to do is you want to put 1/3 of water in this jar. Okay, let's do it. Okay, here it is. I've got like 1/3, if not a little bit more, of water and leca. Okay, so what you do next is you get your favorite plant or whatever it is that you're trying to grow. I'm going to use one that I have rooted already. Oop, it's dripping. See, this plant has roots on it. So that means it's ready to go in the substrate, okay? So you want to make sure that the leca is touching the roots of the plant and not the water, okay? So if you got more water, then you can add some more leca balls, okay? But don't add more water. So I'm going to show you how it looks after I finish putting it in here. I'm going to show you. And here it is. This is the plant and this is the substrate, okay? So you want to keep the water. I actually have too much water in here, but that's okay. I can drain it. But you want to keep the water 1/3 of the vessel and keep the plant above the water. If it touches the water, it's okay. It's not going to hurt it. But what will happen is that water will wick up to that plant when that plant needs water. And then you can go on about your business because that plant already has enough water in your vessel to sustain that plant until you're able to water again. The key to this is don't let your vessel go dry. Some plants will let you, will go dry. But with this type of method, you need to just check it every week or every 2 weeks and make sure it's 1/3 of water in this vessel. And if it's not, just add a little more, okay? So that's the main thing. These little balls will give you a beautiful plant to grow and thrive in your home from year after year, okay? Some people put leca in all of their plants because they don't have time to deal with trying to remember to water the soil or forgetting that you watered it and then the plant gets root rot. So that's a demonstration of semi-hydroponics, okay? That's one demonstration of how you can grow a plant. The other demonstration, I have an example of it right here. Plain old simple water. Now this plant looks a little scraggly because I just took it out of soil and it's getting a little bit hydrated in water. And then eventually if I want to take it and change it to what we just went over, which is semi-hydroponics, I could do that, or I could just grow it in water, okay? So yeah, I see a root here that's not even in water. But yeah, you guys, just try it if you're really interested in having a plant in your home. And don't be afraid to try it. If you have a plant that's dying and you want to cut a piece off of it to save it in case the whole plant goes, you can get you something called perlite. This also can be bought at Amazon. All you do is get you one of these little bitty plastic containers, put you some perlite in that container, get your little bitty small plant. I'm going to cut one off of here so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me see. You get your little bitty plant, you put it in that perlite, just like that. You wet the perlite, and of course you give the plant, you still give your plant the type of lighting and things that it needs, and that plant will grow. See? Just that simple. That's perlite, okay? It will grow in perlite only. It will grow in leca also. Eventually, you're going to need to give your plants nutrients like fertilizer, but first, we're going to start here for those of us who really want to plant but don't know how to go about getting started. This is in perlite. The first one was in leca balls, okay? I'm going to show you another method. Let's move this stuff out the way. I'm going to use another plastic container, And I'm going to show you, actually I have an example of one right here, so we don't have to use that one. Moss, sphagnum moss. You can buy sphagnum moss online at Amazon and put your plant cuttings or your plant in sphagnum moss. And you can let it grow in that moss and get healthy in that moss. Most people do not keep their plants in moss, but they get the roots really strong, especially on a plant that's dying and you want it to live. You can put it in moss, and all your job is to do is keep that moss moist, not wet, because if it's soggy, you can still make the roots get rotten. But what you want to do is wet your moss and squeeze the excess water out and continue to keep that plant in some damp moss. And it's going to be hard because you're going to see that moss is going to start sticking to that plant roots. But that's what you want, because you want the moss to grab a hold of the nodes on the plant, because that tells you that plant has roots. If you can just pick the plant up, like this is new, so I'm going to show you. This plant hasn't rooted yet, okay? Because I can pick it up. But if I was to grab a piece of this that had rooted, the roots would come with the moss. It would be still attached, okay? So we talked about leca, perlite, and sphagnum moss. Now there's another one. Plain old soil. Just plain old soil. And soil is the one that most people struggle with, because sometimes they forget to water their plant, and when they remember it, they pour all this water on it, and that too can cause root rot. Most people think that overwatering means that you overwatered your plant. You gave it too much water, or you watered it on Monday and then you forgot and you watered it on Thursday. Most of the time, overwatering simply comes from letting the plant get too dry and coming behind it, realizing that it's too dry, and just giving it all this water, and the roots can't handle it. It's just too much, and the plant fails. So that's what you want to keep in mind. But that's why I'm here today, guys. I just wanted to let you all know that there's different ways that you can grow plants, but you do have to get started. You know, if you prefer to, you know, purchase my signature soil, I have it for $5, and I have some for $7. Some of my signature soil has all of these ingredients in it, because you can grow it in all the ingredients. So just let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you tried it and if it worked. I want to hear from you. Thanks again for stopping by my channel. I appreciate you guys. Now, let's get to planting. Bye now.